Welcome to Local SEO in 10. This is your go-to podcast for answers about how you can grow your local business online, easily and quickly. Brought to you by local SEO experts, Magnified Media in Walnut Creek, California. In each 10-minute episode, our digital marketing expert, Adam Duran, answers your questions on how you can get more leads for your business fast. Remember, if you're not taking care of this part of your business right now, you can bet your competitors are. And now, here's our host with the questions, Jamie Duran, and our expert with the answers, Adam Duran.
Hello, Adam.
Hey, Jamie.
All right. How's your week going?
Going good. Everything
Nice and warm.
good. Yeah, warming up. Yeah.
Not
Not too bad yet. Not too bad here in Northern California. It's what is this? End of May. It'll start getting really hot, I think, probably within the next couple of weeks. But so far, so good. Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, good.
Beautiful
All
weather.
right.
Yeah.
Me too.
No problems.
I agree.
Awesome. All right. I have a question for you, Jamie.
All right.
All right. Have you ever Googled a question and then got an answer box that gave you the answer you needed without ever clicking another link after that? So I'm assuming the answer is yes, because we all have. And Jamie, do you want to say yes for me?
Yes, and there is a little. Sometimes it's it's a reliable source, and sometimes like it's Bob's website or something that is answering that question.
Yes, and that is actually called. It's not SEO. That's called AEO. And SEO, we all know. Yeah, SEO, we all know, is search engine optimization. AEO is answer engine optimization. And as a local business, just like Jamie alluded to, your local business can take over that little section if you follow what we're going to go through in today's episode. That is a great thing, because what that means is, especially locally, you will become the go-to expert in your category for answers that people are looking for. So that's a really good thing. It changes the local landscape for who is the most authoritative in that space. And you, as a business owner and as a listener of this podcast with a business, you definitely want to take over that space.
Okay.
Make sense, Jamie?
Yeah, it's if you can become the authority, then that helps your rankings and it helps your driving business to your site.
Correct. Yeah. This is all about getting new customers. So yeah, anything we can do, especially online, to take over that space we want to do. And this is super important in Google, of course, in Bing now, and in ChatGPT, all of the other chat search, all of the other chat bots that we're using nowadays. People go to these places and they ask questions. And if they want a local solution to that question, then yeah, we want to take over that space. So the other thing is, most local businesses aren't doing this yet. So this is a great opportunity for you, especially if you're listening to this episode for the first time or listening to our podcast for the first time. This is a great way to get you involved in this and to take over that space. Local service questions, definitions, and how-tos are ripe for the picking. So totally get to it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. This will involve using a few different things. Those few different things are, of course, your browser. You're going to use ChatGPT or another chatbot to help you do this. First thing you can do is go there and you're going to ask ChatGPT, in my space. So for whatever service that you do, think as detailed as you can. I'll put some examples in the show notes, but you're going to go to ChatGPT, or you can go to Google's People Also Ask. You can search there as well. It's basically a place where what we want to do is develop a list of questions that are commonly asked about your service and make it as specific as you can. So not just about HVACs, but about, those little mini coolers, those mini split systems. Get really detailed into the service that you're going to be answering questions about. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So now you have those questions, right? So and then the next step is you're going to write the answers to those questions. So you can have a page on your site that does this. What we found actually, and what people have found, is doing one page per question, which I know sounds insane, but those tend to rank better. But you can also just do a page, an FAQ page about that specific service. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So in your answers, definitely take advantage of making lists, tables, and step-by-step breakdowns. So if it's a how-to, step 1, step 2, like that. If it's a table, it would have a list of brands that you use or that you recommend and why, right? Next to that, that would be a great table. For lists, just think about any listicle or top 10 lists that you can think of. This is also a great way to do that. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So while you're doing that, also, of course, if you have a service page on your website, you want to add an FAQ to it because that's very, very important anyway. Now, once you do that, you are going to have to make schema for it. Do you remember what schema was, Jamie?
Yes, that is all the information you need at the beginning or top of the website so Google can find it easily.
Correct. Yeah, exactly, Jamie. Yeah, there you go. It is the language that was developed to speak directly to search engines and now to these chat bots. So all of that, both of those, so Google, Bing, and of course ChatGPT, they do look at schema very closely because it's very regular. So that basically those systems don't need to do a lot of time figuring out what the answer is. So if you give them that information in schema, I'll also put some links on how to do that in the show notes, but they will be able to set up that schema. Once you set up that schema, then those bots will be able to understand more clearly and definitively the answers. Okay?
Yep.
So make sure that when you're giving these answers to these questions, try and limit the number of sentences, make them short, make them succinct, and make them full of valuable information. So no introduction, nothing, don't make it all full of fluff. Get right to the point. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So once you do that, once you create that schema, we have episodes on how to create schema and then how to inject them onto the page. Definitely that's you're going to want to listen to that episode too, because it is a how-to guide there. I recommend that you use for WordPress, a plugin called HFCM. That's footer code manager. Sorry. It's just, you just look up in the plugin directory, HFCM, and then download it, activate it, and you'll be able to put your schema into that specific page on your site. And you can use the FAQ schema or the other just regular data schema to do that. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So once you do that, then the next thing is you wait a little while. Google will index that page, and you'll start noticing when you are searching for those terms that were answered in that page, the link to the answer will show up when people click on it, and your page will show up right to the right of that on Google. That is as of late May. That's the interface that we're seeing right now. And so definitely think about these. Spend some time doing these and start doing them because, like I said, the space is ripe for the pickings. And we've done a few experiments, and yeah, it's pretty cool. The traffic that we've seen from them has also been okay. So realize that, like Jamie said, you just click through, you see the answer. Now you're not. A lot of the times, people aren't going to be clicking through to your website, but they are seeing your name. And they are then searching for your name, which does help with brand name searches. That's all I got, Jamie.
All right. Well,
any other questions, concerns?
Where do you see it going? Because we were talking about SEO, and now it's AEIOU.
What's AEO? But yeah,
where do you anticipate it going next?
So ChatGPT and the other chatbots, they are increasing their share. Google is responding, and they are testing basically the new user interface. It came out last week or a couple weeks ago, and we are seeing that more and more of Google's results will have the kind of that ChatGPT style, that interface that does eliminate the click to the actual source. This has been an evolution that we've seen since basically the inception of Google. I mean, it used to be when you typed in, what's the weather in my city? Google would give you a link to whatever weather.com. So you'd go there for the answer. Then Google started pulling information from weather.com and putting it on their results. And so then weather.com saw a drastic reduction in clicks to their site. And that happened with Wikipedia. The list goes on, where that rise of the no-click search results, it's an evolution. However, that being said, as a local business owner, you want to make sure that you're still seen, right? So you're still being found. That's the number one thing. And these answer boxes, that's a great way for you to be found. So that SEO it's all about getting seen. And then the AEO is about being trusted. So those are a little different, and they're both really important in growing your business. So taking advantage of the system as it is now, that definitely won't hurt and probably will help. The longer that you have these, basically you are considered the answer to a box, to a question, that trust goes on. In the early, like we've seen with Google, is that the older your site is, the more powerful it becomes, the more trusted it becomes. And in my opinion, for these answer boxes, it's going to be the same. The first ones that get these boxes, especially in your local service, in your local area, the more powerful you will become because of it. So early adopters definitely get rewarded for taking advantage of things like this.
All right. Thanks very much. I think that definitely answers that question. And so with that, we'll wrap it up there. And so if you have enjoyed this episode and you had questions about, hey, how do those explanations get there? Now you know. It's good. So Google steals the person's information and then reduces their exposure on the web. Nice. No? Okay.
That's how they roll, man.
Yeah, I did not get permission to them just lift it. Anyway, with that, we will wrap it up again there. So if you have a question about this episode or this topic, feel free to go to our website, magnifiedmedia.net, click on the podcast button, and then go ahead and search for that search term if you cannot find anything there. But chances are there's at least 2 or 3 episodes. But go to our LinkedIn or Facebook page, send us a message there. We really appreciate it. And then give us 5 stars wherever you are listening to this podcast. And then lastly, if you can share this out to other business owners, chances are they are also struggling with their SEO and struggling with what's next and how can they make their website more relevant and make it more accessible for future clients and current clients. It really helps out a lot. So thank you very much, Adam. We'll talk to you next week.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of Local SEO in 10 with Google local marketing expert Adam Duran. Join us each week for answers to your questions on how to best harness the power of the internet to grow your business. Speaking of questions, got some? Message us through our Facebook page, Local SEO in 10, and we'll be sure to give you your answer on an upcoming episode. This episode of Local SEO in 10 is brought to you by Magnified Media, the leading online marketing agency in Northern California, who invite you to grow your business by magnifying your online visibility and credibility. Visit them on the web at www.magnifiedmedia.com. Magnify your business, magnify your profits.